what is a First Amendment auditor?
Well, under the First Amendment, we all have the freedom of the press, and we have the right to film in public. When we go into like public buildings to maybe look at our public servants, maybe it's a county building or something like that, the driver's license bureau, we're testing basically how they react to cameras because we have the right to be in. And that kind of gauges how they may react with even customers that are in there that might be taking a picture or something. There's been incidents where people have wanted to take pictures of their package at post offices and have been threatened with arrest or removed from places just for trying to take a picture of their package before they ship it. So we try to show that reflects our rights because when you really, if you don't use your rights, you're going to lose them. And we see it often when people are trying to strip away our rights. That's basically why we are First Amendment auditors and why we get out there and do
The truth of the matter is I haven't heard of or become very familiar with First Amendment auditors until recently. Is this a fairly new occurrence? It's something that's been around for years, just hasn't reached the mainstream? You tell me.
Some of the biggest auditors out there, we'll just put Sean Paul Reyes out there. He's Long Island Audits. The guy's got, is he over 1 million subscribers right now?
I think he says like 600,000, 500,000.
And he actually goes out and trains police departments, on our rights and how to work and treat people filming in public. In the past few years, it has gotten very prevalent. Actually, I've only been a First Amendment auditor for about 1.5 years. But I know auditors all over the country. Had 50 of them in my chat this morning, my live.
What do you do?
I've had my rights violated in the past by police, and I've watched the First Amendment auditing videos for years, and I just said, if there's nobody doing it in Akron, there's nobody doing it in Northeast Ohio, so I found the walking camera guy. But he's been looking for another auditor in Ohio for a while.
Yeah.
We need people to understand our rights, and Akron police have learned a bit from me. They learned it the hard way. Now they don't really like me, but they've learned a bit from me. I have some of them that subscribe to my channel. Some of them just downright are disgusting. I have a right to film, and especially I have a right to film police.
May I ask you to elaborate more on learning the hard way?
Learning the hard way, well, recently Sergeant Jason Kitty of Fremont, Ohio, learned the hard way not to illegally detain people for filming in public. 6 days after he illegally detained me in Caveman's Cam, he was forced to resign from the Fremont Police Department. And of course, the songs I made, like Oink Oink Piggy, Bad Sergeant Kitty, and Goodbye Sergeant Kitty, went over really well on the local Facebook pages in Fremont when I shared them. That's the hard kind of learning. They mess up, they have to pay prices sometimes.
How have your experiences been with the Akron Police Department?
For the most part, okay. A couple months ago, I was down on Exchange Street doing some recording talking about the BW3 Go and how there used to be a BW3 on Exchange Street down by the university, but because its franchise contract wasn't being met, they ended up losing that franchise. So I was talking about how this one was. Well, the cooks come out all mad and following me around with cameras as I go down to look at I think it was Insomnia Cookies. I'm zooming in on their menu to show the menu. People come out, what are you filming them? the menu. You know, I'm telling people exactly what I'm doing. They're getting mad. But they called police. Police illegally detained me for about 10 minutes on the sidewalk trying to ID me and give me a trespass warning when I never entered a property. You can't trespass a person who's never been on a property, because trespass, that means you have to give them a warning to leave the property first. You can't trespass me from a sidewalk and say, you can't go in that place that you never went in. It just doesn't work out. You know, attorneys aren't cheap, so we'll see what I find. I'm talking to attorneys about a few different incidents, especially the one in Fremont. Being locked up in the back of a police car for 30 minutes isn't fun.
Sure. Do you operate solo and in a group at times? And I've seen you in a group, so I know it's
Right.
sometimes, if not all the time. And where have you moved around the Akron area?
Well, I mean, I've been all over Northeast Ohio. I've been in Cleveland, Canton, Akron. I've been to Youngstown, Warren, Niles, Fremont, Sandusky. I'm headed to Columbus soon. Bad little piggies down there need some attention. I don't know if you saw something recent in the news about Columbus, Ohio police and what they're doing. But I try to go places where there's kind of a stink going on. Like a post office that has a 1-star rating because of a manager that's kind of unruly. So you go there to record to see if that's the true problem. And I think we found out, right?
Yeah.
Is that the Kemp post office?
The cat post.
We got illegally
Trespass.
They did a Fourth Amendment violation on him. There was a First Amendment violation on both of us. Kemp police went into a federal property with guns on their hips, and they do not have a contract to work with that post office. I did a FOIA request with the postmaster. So they committed a felony, the police did, by going on to postal property with guns.
And forgive me for the noise. Which police department? Spell it?
Kent, Kent, yeah.
Okay,
Kent, Kent Reed, Kent Spelt, Kent, Ohio. Sorry, I went to Kent State and Akron.
But when they're playing each other, who do you go for?
What's that?
When they're playing each other in basketball, who do you go for?
I don't watch any sports.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I don't watch any television.
You're killing me.
I haven't had a TV in almost 20 years.
To be fair, social media is a space because where you engage with
YouTube.
others. And
I'm basically on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, on Facebook, but it's gotten so toxic. I don't like it, but it's a necessary evil. Facebook is.
Sure. And I'm asking you to speak for yourself, although I'm open to a conversation about others. What ethics are you bound by as a First Amendment auditor?
Well, when you say ethics, I mean, are you talking about just, I feel that I have the right to film whatever I can see in public.
Sure.
But I mean,
what
is
you
it,
do, what you won't
I'm
do.
not going to follow around kids, and I'm not going to follow anybody around unless there's somebody that attacked me. And then I have to follow them to preserve evidence so I can turn that in, because I've been attacked multiple times. But no, I just try to keep my distance from people and not get in their space. But people, when they get offended and they do what we call a cam bag, they'll put their phone right up to your face because they think that that's what you did when you're 6 feet away. But get that camera out of my face. It's not in my face. My face, matter of fact, I would not want a camera inside my face. It would feel weird. You're never on the camera, you're standing in front of it. Some of our humor we put out there.
Sure. Is it fair to say, and don't let me put words in your mouth, is it fair to say it's your job, it's your calling to protect the First Amendment, which means you have to challenge the First Amendment or challenge almost to be a jerk, for lack of a better word. It's probably a cleaner, a better way to say that. But that is what you have to do.
You don't have to, no. Because I was recording over here, talking to the girls that are working on the plans for Keep Akron Beautiful. I got done recording, and the manager asked if I was recording or doing some video. I said, yeah, I'm an independent journalist. Would you like to fill me in on some of the stuff going on here? So I did a 20-minute video with her. Now, the other day when you saw me outside of Crave, it was a different story. There's people coming out and telling us to get off the public sidewalk. I mean, I was literally standing on the public sidewalk, and that guy walks right up to me. You need to get out of here. No, I don't. I don't have to leave a public sidewalk. I have every right to be there. You know, so. Oh, did I answer your question there?
No, yeah, and I'll dig
kinda...
into that a little. No, you did. So what I'm hearing, what I interpreted, was that you match the energy that comes your way.
100%.
Okay. So, but and this was already a question I was going to ask. 100 out of 100 times, do you introduce yourself initially when you arrive?
No.
You said no?
Never.
How often? Or never?
I do not, no, I just wander around recording in public because I'm allowed to.
Not because you have to, and I'm just to be clear, I'm not asking do you introduce yourself because you have to. We're not talking about this part of this is not a legal question, this speaks to morals, ethics, which everybody's is different. We're three different people. We may have three different groups of morals and ethics, and that's fine, you know.
Right.
Look, for example, we are bound to. I was at an event Friday evening in Akron, and I'm sitting at a table with two public officials. I'm bound to introduce myself as I'm Gary Estway. I work for Signal Akron. And if I'm on the plug, I'm playing basketball. I'm at the gym. I'm eating ice cream. That's different. 'Cause I'm still a human being first. But in a space that, especially with the public official involved, or I'm on official business, I'm bound to introduce myself as a journalist. It's not saying what you're doing is legal and right or wrong. I'm not saying mine is what I'm doing. It's just that's what we are trained or bound to do.
Right, and you know, it depends on the way they come at me. If they come at me with maybe a little unease as to why I'm recording there or something, I can just simply say I'm an independent journalist. I'm here working on a story. You know, that's that simple, and that's really what you are. You're all independent journalists once you pick up a phone and you start disseminating any information, however it may be. It could be to the internet. It could just be sending that information to other people. That makes you a news journalist. You saw information that you thought was worthy and shared it. Now, since I'm independent, I don't have to follow the ethics of the company you work with. Follow my own, meaning I don't have to answer questions. Nobody's beholden to get any information from me if I haven't broken a law. You know, I can tell a cop, sorry, I'm not talking to you, I'm not getting my information. And I will not identify unless I'm threatened with an arrest. And at that point, if it's an illegal, you know, threat of arrest because I didn't have the right to get my ID, then I have a Fourth Amendment violation, which could lead to something like a 1983 lawsuit.
And just so you, the reason why I'm asking, one of the reasons why I'm digging into it a little bit, so I think I probably know a little bit more than an average bear. Not much more, but a little bit. And even First Amendment auditors are fairly new to me, understanding what they are. So I can take for granted the average person, when they see you, now, if this was New York, if this was Manhattan, probably DC, probably a completely different conversation. But in Akron, I suspect the vast majority of people that run into you for the first time that have never heard of a First Amendment auditor and have no idea what a First Amendment auditor is. Now, the flip side of that, the irony of it is, as comfortable as people are with having technology in their hand and being able to shoot a movie with your phones and do everything else, there still is a fear for something recorded that you don't have control over, even if it's in a public space. So that's
Right.
the irony. That's the irony of it. But again, I see both sides of it, but I also see the person that even if you have the right for it, they don't understand it, and that's why I'm asking the question about this is the education component. Introducing yourself and explaining what you are and why you do it, even if someone comes at you hostile, in a hostile manner, as long as they're not physically threatening, touching you, as long as they're not overtly being a verbal attack, that education component could help to move the needle closer to what I think we want to accomplish.
There's times where I may go overboard a little bit, but people get you angry when they're getting in your face, and we're all human. And sometimes it's not easy in that, when you've dealt with a lot of angry people over the whole day. 'Cause we've been on tours and gone to 2-3 cities a day, and that's a lot of walking around with a camera, having a lot of different people either be nice to you or get angry with you. So
Sure.
you're on that roller coaster.
I think back about, you mentioned the restaurant,
Right.
and there was a woman that I spoke to, not on the record, just talking, a human being, and she had some fear of the foursome. Now again, everybody's different. I walk right up to you guys and good morning, how y'all doing? Introduce myself. In the first 30 seconds said I was a reporter. I didn't, and I said in that moment, I wonder if 3 people had cameras and the sunglasses and everything else, and one person didn't have a camera, didn't have sunglasses, and that was the one person that was designated to say, I'm Luke. We're, here's what we are, here's why we're doing it. Da, da, da. It's just it's a thought, just the way, because I'm like, okay, what's the difference between 4 cameras and 3 cameras, and have that designated person that person's job is to bring everybody down.
It's different than
You know better
just
than me, but you've
4
done it
cameras.
more than me.
Think about this. Auditor Palooza is coming up, and that's where 100 First Amendment auditors are meeting in Florida. So there will be 100 cameras or more, all at one meeting place. They're going to be going all over, recording together.
Sure, but it's just the thought, like, before people can.
But part of it is we want the raw reaction. If I go in and tell people, hey, I'm going to record you, they're going to be looking at the camera and stuff, trying to act like they should. But if I'm just recording, we don't even say anything until they say something. If we're just recording, we get a reaction, whatever reaction it is. If it's a smile and a wave, that's awesome, we take off. If it's that look of disgust, you get out of here and doing the cutting the throat thing, kind of thing. We might stay there a little while, because I don't have to listen to you. You can't tell me to move.
And I certainly understand the raw reaction part. And again, to me, that's you're testing a system to protect the system.
Exactly.
That's the interpretation.
Because if people at the restaurant decide to call the police, well, now we have to test the police to see if they will honor our rights to film in public, and not cuff us up and take us away for doing something like that, which happened to me at the Akron Library. So,
May I ask?
yeah.
What happened at the library?
It all started, this started back almost a year ago when I went to the Highland Square Library, and the head of security, former captain of Akron Police, Terry Pasco, tried to get me and another auditor, Caveman's Cam, arrested and trespassed while at the library, recording. And a few months later, I'm at this library, the main one, and the same guy comes after me with 2 security guards on each side of him, getting in my face, following me around, stomps on my foot as I'm going up the stairs to get me to stop so he could harass me some more, trying to read me the policies, which I know the policies. He shoved them in my face the last time. So he tried to get me arrested again that day. Well, then I think it's a day or two later, I went to the Firestone Park Library. I'm walking through, I got a mobility shoe on from my foot being smashed, and a security guard named Patrick gets upset that I'm filming in the library, comes at me and pushes me, almost knocks my camera out of my hand, and then he cries for help, and then the off-duty cop comes over and starts pushing me and bumping me with his belly. And then they arrested me for disorderly conduct, trespassing, when I was the one being assaulted by security and a cop. Kind of weird how that works. The victim goes to jail. Because who are they going to believe? The guy with the camera or the security guard and the cop?
What first drew you to being a protector of the First Amendment?
Well, I joined the military when I was 17. I joined the Army. I took an oath at that point to uphold the Constitution. I love my country. I don't like where it's at right now, but I love the country. And I was an education major in college. I wanted to teach. I didn't like the way high school was going. Just the climate of the high schools now, didn't want to be a part of that, so I just thought, why don't I just get out and teach people about their rights? My channel does say it's an educational channel. There's some comedy too, because people are funny. Just have that ability, and I say some funny things too.
Are you able to monetize your YouTube channel?
I am monetized.
Is this a main job, main career for you? Is it something?
Oh God, no! You can't get rich on YouTube. Not with 8,500 subscribers. You can't. Like, my illegal detainment, my short video that's about a minute long, has almost 500,000 views, and I've made $83 on it. So you can't make a lot of money. I make more money on Stringer, as a matter of fact. Like yesterday, there was all the storms. So I posted, about 6, 10-second and 30-second videos to Stringer and got my story sold. The other day I sold another story on Stringer as well. I sell stories to the news, but that doesn't go on my page. So, but I have another job, and I'm an independent representative for 2 companies.
Have they been asking for Akron or Akron area specifically? Have there been law enforcement officials that have embraced to varying degrees what you do, publicly or privately?
Yes.
May I ask?
Their name?
No, give me, that's public.
Well, like I was recording in front of the dispensary down off of North Arlington, where marijuana dispensaries or whatever, I was recording from the sidewalk, and it's an interesting topic because you got something that's legal for the state of Ohio for people to have. Now it's for both recreational and for medicinal, but it's still on a federal level. It's not legal. So just being there, it's a story. Well, I recorded there. The police have showed up, gave me fist bumps, patted me on the back. They knew my channel. They thanked me for what I was doing, and told me to have a good day. Because I tell them, be safe out there, enjoy yourself, and buckle up. So they got to buckle up. But another one is, what's his name? I can't think of his name. James. I can think of his first name. He's got a really tough last name, but he's a detective with Akron Police. He's a crime scene detective, and he's a staunch supporter of my channel. I have a police officer in California that's going to be reviewing videos with me on live streams.
Okay.
And I just had another officer, deputy, subscribe to my channel that we met. I forget what city I was in. I go to so many cities, I get kind of lost.
Sure. If I could dig into a couple of points, and these are questions that we've asked some subject matter experts about it, and to a great extent, not to a full, it's kind of some gray areas. One, can auditors shoot photos or video from a public space into a private area?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, because if you can see it, you can film it. You can't trespass my eyes. If I'm standing in public and I can see it, I could actually, over there where we were standing, there was Huntington Bank behind us. I could have turned from that where I was and zoomed in and recorded that person in their office.
I believe
because I could see it from a public space.
I appreciate that. I believe, and if I'm wrong, I'll go back and email you. I believe the response we got was yes, but you can't zoom in. I believe that was the response we got from the subject matter expert.
Yeah, but that's not true. The main thing is that if it's private, like you can't film somebody's bathroom or bedroom. Like I could go walk down the street that you live on, be on the sidewalk and film your house all day long if I wanted to. I could even walk on your property right up to your front window, your living room, and put my phone right up to it if I wanted to. If you told me I had to leave, I'd have to leave. Because otherwise then you can call the police and get me trespassed. You have to give me time to leave once you say leave. But but I don't do public in neighborhoods unless it's somebody that I may be protesting. It could be a city council member or a sheriff.
But it's a public figure, so that's
Correct.
That's a different set of rules. Patio, and I'm speaking of this because of the local restaurant. And I'm asking more than telling. I think I know this, but I'm not quoting laws. As I understand it, local restaurant has a patio set up in a public space, but they're renting it from the city. Doesn't that make that space private because they're renting it?
The thing is you've got, the public has to be able to get into that business. So anything going up to that door is going to be public access. Because anybody can go up to that door to visit that business.
But inside
that perimeter where I didn't go, by the way, if you were there, you saw that. I know because I saw you in a reflection behind me. Actually, I saw you first at the library.
A couple different directions.
Yeah, you were behind the library by the back door when him and the other two guys went in, because I'm not going in that library.
Understood.
28 days over my head. I got 4 more months, and then I'm not, I'm allowed to go back in 4 months. So that's one of the things.
Hashtag free Lemmy.
That did trend. But no, nobody knew I was arrested when I got arrested because I didn't live stream it. I ended up in jail for 51 hours in a holding cell waiting to be booked. So I didn't get my mattress, I didn't get anything. And the messed up thing is I was arrested on a Thursday, Friday morning at 9:30 in the morning, and I saw the judge, and they gave me a signature bond. Well, you don't get your signature bond until you've been booked. So since you got a butthurt ex-captain that was railroading me and cops that didn't like me make sure that I sat in that holding cell for 51 hours. because they were doing it to a lot of people. There was one guy that was in that holding cell for 7 days. I might just stand outside the jail and interview people as they get let out. How'd they mistreat you, and tell me your story.
Is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to talk about? Anything I've asked you that you want to go back and revisit? Anything you want to ask me?
Well, I mean, just in our talk, have you watched any other auditing videos, any other First Amendment audits? What do you think of the content that you've seen, and maybe who are some of the people out there that you watched? I'm guessing you watched me.
I have. I haven't watched them close enough to outside of myself to know names, and I watch really passively. As objectively and fair as I can be, I try to think of things best case scenario, worst case scenario. Good intention, worst possible intentions. I think best intentions, I think there are similarities between the type of journalism I practice and my peers practice and the type of journalism that you practice. For example, if we're looking into the background of a public official and we don't find anything, we're not celebrating one way or another when we're at our best. It's our job to search for things, whether we find them or not. That's our job. It doesn't mean we're aiming because this person's in one political party and this person's another. It's something we're supposed to do across the board.
And quite frankly, the political parties are no good, either one of them.
So from that way, it resonates what you're trying to accomplish, even if I see a bit of a disconnect from people I've talked to from what I've seen, where if people don't understand what you're doing, it's hard for them to get what you're doing. And that's kind of where you heard some questioning based on some people I've talked to. And again, I walked up to y'all. I had no problem talking to y'all, and you guys engaged with me. So, but I don't expect part of my empathy. I don't expect everybody to move the way I move.
Well, no.
You know, and what scares one person is no big deal to another person. I've also covered Hurricane Katrina as important for 6 weeks, and learned how to walk up on a police officer, you know, a group of police officers at night when there's no lights. you know.
I've been there.
If you get pulled over, you turn the light on above the top of the car. I'm not turning it on for me. I'm actually turning it on for them so they can relax.
Right.
A little
Maybe
bit.
they won't shine the light in your face the whole time.
You know, I'm putting my arm on the side of the car. I'm showing I'm relaxed to help them realize.
Hopefully you're recording this too. Always record the police.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm just not. There are people that we know. You guys might be one of them. You might not be. That every time they jump in a vehicle, I don't care if they're running down to a fast food place, they hit record, and and everything, every moment they're driving around town, they're recording it. To each his own, it makes them happy.
Right.
That's just not me. I'm already teched out with 2 phones, 2.5 phones.
Yeah. My body cam when I'm wearing it is always recording it. I only keep that footage if there's something interesting on it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I just empty that SD card, put it back in, charge the battery. It's just there for added protection, because when I'm holding my camera out in front of me, people try to reach in behind me, grab my hand, knock my arms out of the way, stuff like that. Well, body camera picks it up, but having a second camera makes it even better, or a third camera, or a fourth.
Sure. Born and raised Akron?
I was born here. I was not raised here.
Okay.
I've moved around a lot.
Okay. Came back, currently live in Akron?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I currently live in Akron. Excuse me. But I've lived in Florida, South Carolina, Texas. Lived in 5, 6, 7 7 or 8 different cities in Akron.
Impact at all being the First Amendment auditor has on your life?
Well, recently, there's the thing is, there's an anti-First Amendment auditor community out there that calls us all frauditors.
Okay.
They outed me before you guys put my name out there. Before Akron Police put my name out there, they put my full name, my home address, and where I work. I think that's not fun, but oh well. I mean, I'm a public figure now, I guess.
I was going to ask you that. Do you think you're a private or a public figure?
I'm a public figure because I'm in front of the camera and I'm out there disseminating the news. So I'm not going to try to hide it. You know, I'm not going to try to take down a story or anything like that. You can spell my name wrong, but that's okay. That's how everybody misspelled my name since I was a kid, living everywhere. So, remember, I did live in Florida. Did that fishing thing. Loved that. I may move back here. I don't know. I may move back to Texas. I'm getting tired of Ohio, though. Kind of tired of Akron, actually.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Not that I can think of, no.
Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate both of you.
Oh yeah. Appreciate you.
And thanks for helping us explain what this is for the community.
Awesome. I mean, if people need help with anything, I'll be there to investigate police and go in there and do things. So,
Ooh, I just thought keep going.
go ahead. No, I don't have a problem going into police departments. They've actually closed that one up, I think, because of me, but not really. It's because of the asbestos in the building.
Will you take off the sunglasses? Oh, the sunglasses. Okay. Are the sunglasses because you're cool? Are the sunglasses because it's hot?
These are Humana, free Humana sunglasses from that I got, and it's just so I can block the sun out of my eyes. Yeah.
Again, I'm speaking on the behalf. What
But
people
like,
have told me, not me.
there's the
Yeah? What's
there's
that?
this is my pig mask for when I have to speak.
Oh, sure. I'm
Pig Latin. Yeah. I have.
sure that's a way to make friends.
The police actually enjoy it. I have an umbrella with a middle finger on it, so I can flip people off in big bold. When there's a couple of us with umbrellas on each corner, surrounding a cop, and we're just.
Oh, behave.
No, it's fine.
Behave.
They have to be adults about it. We're allowed to critique a cop or call them names as much as we want. We just can't say threatening words to them.
Understood.
So, besides, they violate our rights all the time. They have to earn the respect. They don't get it.
Understood. I appreciate everything.
Thank
Been
you.
great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.